on, this is an 8x8 card. I'm going to make up my greetings card now. It's quite a heavy, smooth cardstock. And I've de-stressed all the edges of my papers. I've got a craft card in the background, then a piece of red card, and the printed out Dr. Digi papers. I print all my papers 8x8 and then I cut them up accordingly to which card size I'm using. Normally using an 8x8, 5x7 or a 7x7. All the edges are de-stressed with this little needle thread cutter, and I'll show you how I do that now. So I've downloaded this image off the internet and I'm just going to go around and de-stress all the edges. So it just roughs up all the edges on my piece of paper, which I'm going to later put onto my card. If you go into Google, you can find some great images connected with your project. I just put in wizard potion labels and this is what I got. So I'm going around each of them, roughing up. If you keep to one side, there's tiny little blades all the way around, and it was used for cutting the threads off of sewing machines, I believe. When people had done their sewing, it just snipped away the thread edge instead of scissors. So I'm going around all the corners, edges, just making it look a little bit old, tattered. Our wizard is getting on a bit. So I'm going over the corners. It doesn't matter if my pages, my little tag here creases, and the crease the better. You can actually de-stress these by using a Zutta de-stressing machine as well, which is an electronic machine. It does it a lot quicker than I'm doing here. But these are the ones that I did earlier. These are some more potion labels that I downloaded off the internet and just printed out on a scrap piece of paper. And I've de-stressed all those edges as well. This is the green Dr. Digi paper. So I've got a red one. I think there's 4 in the actual set. I think there's a purple and a brown as well. De-stressing in this way, it does actually cause quite a mess. And the Zutta machine actually causes more of a mess. I've gone around the edge of my image with an antique linen Distress Oxide ink with my dust brush from Inkalicious, just to so that image isn't quite as white. It's quite a white. So I just went around the edges. And I'm taking an At You glitter gold pen and I'm just going to do the hinges on his wizard spell book. I'm just colouring in those quickly. Now I'm going to take my Wink of Stella glitter pen. This is a clear pen. They do a whole range of different colours, but this is the clear one and it just gives a little glittery shine, and I'm going to put that on his globe on the top of his staff. I hope I got the names right. I don't think you can see it on here, but it gives a little glitter effect. It's quite nice on fairy wings, things like that as well, wands. I use my clear one a lot. So I'm going to start layering up my card. As you can see, I've already stuck these pieces on. And now I'm going to line up where I want my wizard to go. And I'm going to start to assemble all my other bits and pieces. First off is my little distressed cardstock piece that I made up earlier. It's just randomly cut and then I'm going to lay it underneath him. So with my Collel clear glue, I do small L shapes in the corners. Doesn't need to be all over, it's just enough to hold it. And then I'm going to place that down. It dries really quickly. The thing with this glue is you do have room for manoeuvre if you do stick it in the wrong place, unlike double-sided tape or tape runners. You do have a moment if you want to reposition it. So So I'm going to hold my wizard up against that, and I'm really happy with that, and I'm going to see where I want my next piece. Our little tattered certificate or spell label. And the same again, small L's in the corners, our crinkled up wizardy piece. And I'm going to position that under where my wizard is going to go. I don't necessarily have a layout plan for all my cards. I do use sketches from Pinterest occasionally when I get a bit stuck of where I want things, or if I keep making the same card position over and over. But this is the best way to do it. If you take your image and then you just lay your things underneath it, see where you want them to be before you place your final image or greeting on. So it's just going to tuck out, coming out the edge there so we can just about see it. I think this one is frog's blood. Nice. So these are the other ones that came in the set. They're downloaded off of the internet and just printed out. I'm just going to take one more and de-stress that up. And this is literally how quick it is to do it. You can get the needle threaders in most shops, I believe Hobbycraft, John Lewis, places like that, any sewing shops, sewing machine shops as well. Or the Zutter de-stressing machine. It does have an American plug on it, so you need to get an adapter if you do buy one of those, but there's lots around. So I'm going to place him back down, see where I want this one. And I think I'm going to put a greeting finally in the top right, so I'm going to have this one just over to the left. It was a bit better lighting today, so I didn't have to turn the lights on in the lab cabin, so no light reflection on the glass mat today, which is really good. Now I'm going to take my 3D silicone gel. I like to keep it in the syringe. You don't have to, you can take it out of the tube, the main tube with the cocktail stick, something like that. And what we're doing is we're giving the picture a bit of height, sticking it down, but we don't press it down. So we put pea-size amounts onto every area where we need support in our picture. And this is quite a large image, so quite a bit on there. If you squeeze your silicone gel out just slightly before you put your tip on, it doesn't clog. It will eventually if you don't use it and you've got it stored in for a long time, but I do use mine daily. So I'm just placing my image, we can wiggle that around, getting it straight, getting it to where we want, and our finished card. But there he is, our little Spells for Beginners wizard. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.